Okay, so you guys, I just wanted to go through, like, now that you've been in long enough, you kind of are understanding the business and you're learning the 3 steps that we repeat over and over and over again. And I just kind of wanted to give some ideas on, like, how do you go, how do I actually, have I gone about completing my steps 1, 2, and 3 every single month for 5.5 years now. And I love the simplicity of this business because honestly, you guys, I don't stray from that at all. I never have. When I joined my best friend, and she had joined, like, I think a week ahead of me, or maybe even 10 days. So she didn't know a whole lot about the business, so we kind of learned it together. And a lot of you guys will be in the same boat. There's a lot, people will join you even though you haven't been in a long time. And honestly, you don't think like, oh, I can't ask anybody to do this business with me because I don't know every question that they're going to ask, or be nervous about sharing the opportunity, and sharing the vision of this business and your vision, because you're like, well, I haven't done that yet. You know, there's so many times that we talk ourselves out of, like, actually moving forward, when in all reality, like, that it had never stopped me in the beginning. Like, people didn't care that I had only been in it a week. People didn't care that I had been only in the business for a month. Like, that's not something they were waiting for. Instead, they were like, hey, if she's going to start this, I want to be with her if she's running in the beginning, you know? So when you guys are talking to people and you're saying, like, hey, I'm going for a $10,000 bonus, or say, Miranda, you say, like, I'm going for Ruby, which is an extra $500 a month because this is what it would do. This is what that does for me. That stuff is super relatable to people because most people are joining for an extra $300 to $500. Or they thought to themselves, like, you know, I want to use the products anyways as a customer and get them for a discount. So why not do that and have the option to make some extra money? Because I don't really know a single soul out there that couldn't use an extra $500. So I kind of want to break down some of these steps with you guys. I know most of you that you've already gotten your 4 loyal customers, and that's awesome. And you want to continue to do that every single month. So those 4 loyal customers, what I love about our customer program is a few things. Our products are, like, they're not meant to be a quick fix, but they are healthy for you. So I love that our customer program is the 90 days because it keeps people, and it develops kind of a good habit is what I guess I would say, and consistency. And that's where they're going to see their best results. The great part about that as well is that, you know, if you sign up for loyal customers, the next month, for say you did that in July, now the next month for August, you have 4 customers that are already going to be ordering. So on the dates that they signed up with you, that is when their next auto ship will go, because they have 3 orders with their auto ship. And from there, you guys, they can continue to order if they want to do so. Many people will, because, like, for myself, if I'm doing the greens and I'm doing the It's Vital and that's my daily routine, they're going to want to continue to do that, right? Because that's something that is daily. And that's one of the things that I do love about the products, is it's not just something that they're going to use for 2 months and then be done. So the next thing is for August, which is great, is you are going to add another 4 loyal customers. And I always say to people, that is literally 1 loyal customer a week if you broke it down, like, into your month. And so there might be days where you've been talking to people even from last month, and all of a sudden on Fridays you go and you follow up, or whatever day you sit down to follow up with some people that were going to order. You might get 2 loyal customers in one day, and that's perfect. That's fine. Like, you might blow this thing out of the water some months, and that's great. Like, all it is doing is now you have 8 customers ordering. So what that's going to do is literally, it allows you to double and triple your paycheck. And so I always tell people, like, you never want to think, oh, I did this month, so next month I don't have to do it again. Like, you just want to do your daily activities and keep that consistency, because that is what matters the most. It doesn't matter if you haven't done anything for 3 weeks and all of a sudden you have 2 days where you really bust hard and you think to yourself, like, oh, I put in 6 hours today. Honestly, I'm going to tell you, it would be so much better for your business if you were consistent for a half hour every single day than all of a sudden working 6 hours on your business one day. Okay, so daily is key in this business. And so for me, you guys, what that looked like in the beginning, honestly, I was working full-time as a nurse, and I was working night shifts, so I was working super odd hours compared to everybody else. Like, when people were awake, I was supposed to be sleeping, and I had little ones, and Kevin was working, and we worked total opposite schedules. So for me, that looked like me posting one time a day. So sometimes that meant about a product. Sometimes it meant that I was posting about the business opportunity or why I was excited about the business opportunity, or even commenting about like where I was going to go. And I have, 3 extra spots on my team, or I want to help 4 people this week get started and hit their goal. Or, maybe you can even say Ruby, which is an extra $500 a month. But I would post, and I probably posted once a day. The rest of my posts were completely about like my life, like my normal life that you would normally post about. So if Jess normally posts about her dogs, or she posts about her hubby, or whatever she's doing that she normally did without it works, like you still want to do those posts, because we all know, like just like a few of us on here, like we joined somebody that we didn't know, but there was something that we saw in them. There was things like, I get comments all the time that people are like, you look so happy, or you look like you're always having fun with your kiddos, or you're doing this, or you love running your business. You talk about it. There's things that people see that's what they want to, and that they kind of start like developing trust in you, even though they don't know you. I always tell people it's like this little trust relationship from afar on social media. That's just kind of how it is, right? You build this little friendship with people, you follow them, you love following their journey. Sometimes people are inspiring, or sometimes you may just relate to their story. Those are going to be the things that people hold on to, and when you reach out, or maybe you do reach out to that person because you see them liking your stuff, you see them following, and that is going to be all they need to trust in you to say, you know what, yeah, I do need that too, just like you did. Like I could use an extra blah, blah, blah. Or I've been looking to back down at work and be part-time because I want more time with my family, or whatever it may be. People join for all different reasons. So you want to make sure that it's not just all it works posts 24/7, because people get annoyed with that and they're going to be like, well, I really liked seeing like Miranda's posts about, her life in general, or I really liked seeing about Nora's kids, or that's why I followed her originally. So you want to make sure to kind of mix it all together. And then, so between my posts, I would have people messaging, and if they liked my post, I would shoot them a message. The other thing, you guys, I did post that kind of called action to come to me. So I did post that said like, hey, I have 8 wraps on hand, and I'll probably do one again here pretty soon because I bought some of the BOGO, so I will actually have some wraps on hand. And so I always say like, hey, I have 4 wraps on hand. They're $25 a piece. If you've been wanting to try these, shoot me a message. They'll go fast, but you can, and I'll come wrap you. Like I would just say that, and then people would message me and just instantly say like, I want to try that. Or, maybe it was somebody that I worked with. They're like, hey, can you bring one of those wraps to work with you? But if you're not putting it out there, people have no idea that that you even have wraps on hand. People don't know that they can buy a single wrap for $25, and they don't even know that you can come wrap them, and it takes literally 3 minutes, and they get to try the wrap before they say yes to being a loyal customer. Or maybe they love the wrap so much, you guys, that they're like, okay, Miranda just did this, and that was super, super easy for me, or for her to do, and it didn't take very long, and she just made $25, and I love my wrap, and I want to do what she just did. So a lot of times I was wrapping people and they're like, how much money are you making doing this? Or they would ask different questions about it. And you guys, I would just talk to them. Like I answered their questions, let them kind of just run the show. But I'm telling you, if you actually get out and you wrap people with your wraps, you're going to be making money right off the bat. And I love Wrap Cash. Like Wrap Cash still to this day is one of my favorite things, because it's going to be the one thing that allows you to make money right off the bat without waiting for a commission check. And it's something that literally, like, it would pay for our weekend events, or it would go and pay for my groceries, or whatever it is. And you finally kind of see like, oh, I'm not really touching my checking account for that. So you already start seeing such a small change of just what Wrap Cash can do for your life. And then from there, you guys, if you're wrapping people, the wrap speaks for itself. So you will be able, by wrapping people, you're making your Wrap Cash. So even whatever you have in your auto ship, you're going to have wraps on hand. Then step 2 for loyal customers, who doesn't, like if somebody wrapped me and I could feel it working, I'm not going to just want one wrap. Most people don't. And when you tell them like, hey, 4 wraps is a treatment, now here's your options. Like you guys all got one of these in your little kits. This thing is awesome. I use this all the time. So when I was wrapping somebody, I would literally kind of let them look through this. And I was like, yeah, we have all these different products. And I would just like flip open to this page, So it shows the wraps and stuff. And I would just say, like, you have the option to get a full treatment of wraps for $59 at my cost. That's exactly what I get them for. Or you can pay the $99 and do a one-time order at retail. And from there, most people are going to say, like, no, I actually have more than one area that I want to wrap. Or what if I need more than 4 wraps? And that's when you guys intervene and you just say, yeah, that's why it's great. Our loyal customer program is this. And say on the 3rd month, you don't want to get more wraps because maybe you wrapped your tummy and it's exactly how you want it to look. And that was your goal. The next thing is 3rd month, you guys, they could do defining gel. And it just maintains their results. Or they could try another product that they see. And when I found, you guys, when I was using this and showing them and they would start flipping through, it's funny because the next thing was like, oh, well, what's the cleanse? Like I could probably use a cleanse. Like, is that weight loss or is it this? So when you have this and you actually are using the tools that you're given, I promise you, like, you do not have to convince people and you do not have to do a whole lot of talking because they can see. And I mean, just like you and I, we can look at this and there's multiple products that we want to try, right? So for a lot of us, we're like, heck yeah, we want to get those first 4 loyal customers because you get this $100 shopping spree. And for me, you guys, I had joined without trying a single product. So I was like, you know what, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to wait around and see if I like the products and then go from here. Because I also knew on the flip side, if I didn't, I could turn everything off. And obviously that didn't happen since I'm here 5.5 years later. So, and helping you guys. So anyways, just know, like, those first 4 loyal customers, you want to get them. If you've gotten them, like, your next step is hitting your first promotion to executive. And promotions are so dang fun. Like, I want nothing more than to stress to you guys that to not be nervous to grow your team, to not be nervous to reach out to people, to invite them to do this with you. Because as you get people and you get to work alongside people, it is so much more fun. And for myself, like, something that helped me in the beginning was it was so much easier for me to say, hey, Jess, like, what is your goal? Like, okay, so when you if you hit executive, what would that do for you and your family? If you hit Ruby or somebody said, like, my goal is Ruby, $500 a month. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, perfect. Well, I know how to tell you to get there. But I was like, but what does that mean to you? Like, what will that do for you? For me, you guys, it would allow me to be home an extra shift with my son. So at that time, that meant a lot to me. Or if, like Jess was just talking about, like, if we were low census, like, I prayed for days like that. Like, I was like, yes, give me a low census day. But at the same time, I was also in a situation where I was like, well, then I have to use my PTO to fill in those hours for the pay. And I don't necessarily want to use my PTO. So then you would decide, like, do I use my PTO or do I just, like, am I short one shift on my check? And so for me, that extra $500, that meant, like, I could do that and it wouldn't even touch our budgeting or, like, what our monthly expenses were or anything like that. And so I loved the thought of just even having that freedom and the choice or the option to say, I just want to stay home one shift. Like, that's, like, that's all I seriously wanted. So ask people and know for yourself, like, what does executive mean to you? If you had an extra $300 coming in, what would that $300 go to? Is it going to go to pay off a credit card? Is it enough to pay for your car payment? And then you think to yourself, oh my gosh, if that freed up my car payment, like, this is what I would have. Think to yourself, like, do you have student loans? Do you have things like that? I always tell people, like, I started out with things that I could knock out that were smaller goals because it brought me faster wins, which, like, fueled my fire. So, like, one of my big things was I was like, okay, and I couldn't think of this the first month, but I think it was like the 3rd month in when I was going for Diamond, which is like an average of $2,000 a month. When I was going for that, I'm like, oh my gosh, $2,000 a month. I'm like, okay, student loans, like, I cannot stand those. I paid like $600 a month, you guys, for my nursing loans. And I was like, if I could pay those, like, that would be so amazing. Now I just freed up another $600, like, even without it works, paycheck coming in alongside my nursing career. And so it's, as you I always say, figure out some of those small ones that you can get. Every rank, like, give that number a meaning to you. Like, you have to be excited to be working hard and doing something on the side that is going to be like, yes, this is rewarding to me, right? So for me, I always gave each rank that I was going for a meaning to my family, because I was like, well, I'm not going to put it on my family. That's not who I am. So, that is one of the biggest things for there. The other awesome thing, okay, so tips about posting for loyal customers. I post about products. Before and after pictures are huge. They don't even have to be your own. We have obviously the link that gives you all the corporate approved before and afters. And I would switch it up. The other thing, you guys, that I learned really quickly was that, in our minds, we're thinking, oh, we have to post something different or post about a different product every single time that we are going to go post about a product. I want to tell you, you do not have to. So if in your mind, you're like, hey, I'm going to go to the product coach and I'm going to start working on the cleanse. I know that the cleanse is really awesome. Or start with the products that you guys love, that you want to try for yourself. Get to know them and consistently post about them. Let it be 3 to 4 products at first. The thing that you're going to find is whatever you're posting about, you're excited about, you're sharing about, that is what they're going to come ask you about. Okay, so it doesn't matter that maybe you do 3 posts of the cleanse. Sometimes when I'm doing my actual cleanse for the 2 days, you guys, that's all I'm posting about is the cleanse. I'm not mixing wrap posts in there. I'm not mixing any of that stuff. And the awesome thing is that people are re-seeing the cleanse. And then that is what my next loyal customers are ordering, because it's been in front of them for the last 2 days enough that they're like, I want to know what that's about. Tell me more about the cleanse. So don't think that you have to know everything about every single product to share it. And know that if you feel like you have a good grasp on wraps, post about the wraps. If you got your wraps in your kit and you got to wrap yourself and you have good results and you're confident in the wraps, post about the wraps. Continue to do that. And that's what's great about our auto ship too, is that, and I'm looking on here, all of you guys have your auto ship set up. So, the auto ship is there for either you to use or it's there for you to make wrap cash. And so wrap cash was huge for me. I want it to be huge for you, because it was literally what fueled my fire to do this business every single day. I loved wrapping people. It's not hard to do. It's not uncomfortable. And it was crazy because every single time I was wrapping somebody, I was signing a customer or a distributor. And so you guys, if you want confidence or you don't want to have to say a whole lot, be wrapping people for sure. So that's what I did. The other thing, my biggest tip for loyal customers is every time that somebody messaged me or I messaged them and they were like, yeah, I'm interested in that. You guys, I always say, I give them option. My next thing is, no matter what product it is, they would say well, how much is it? I always would say the retail price first. So I would say, oh, the wraps, you can get 4 for $99, or you can become a loyal customer and our program is free and you actually get the wholesale cost. So you could get 4 for $59. I promise you their next question instantly is what's the loyal customer program? Okay, because who doesn't want a deal? And I think it's actually insanely awesome that our products, for as superior as they are, them being plant-based, natural, they are so affordable to the masses. It's not just oh, people who have a lot of extra money can use these products or this or that. They are affordable to everybody. And that is something that I've just heard so many times over the last 5.5 years that I've done this business. So I just let them know, these are your options. And then I explain the loyal customer program. I don't say oh, you get this, you get that, you blah, blah, blah. I literally just say, it is ordering one product for 3 months. You can switch that product up if you want, and we kind of set it up as your 90-day plan. So whatever your goal is, we can do that. Or if you are on a certain budget, so say you recommend something to somebody and they're like, well, that's a little too expensive. Tell them, say, you know what's great about our loyal customer program is actually this is what my recommendation would be for you, because maybe they're asking to lose 20 pounds or something. And so you've told them 3 products to use together. If they can't afford that, tell them, just say hey, what if you can start with just these 2, or maybe you can only afford the Fat Fighters. That's okay. But I always just let them know you probably won't see as fast of results as you would if you could use all 3 together. But it doesn't matter. Know their budget, know what they want to do. And then from there, you guys, I always say, when are you looking to order? When do you want to order? And then from there, they will give me either a date or, maybe on payday. And I always say, what's payday? Make sure you ask the questions, and it's not pushy. But honestly, I can't tell you how many people appreciate and they say, yes, follow up with me on this day and I'll help you get set up and get ordered. And that might be on a payday for them, and that's totally fine. And you guys, I write their names down and literally the date in my little like calendar, and I say like, this is who I'm following up with, this is their number, and this is what they were going to order. And I literally put it on there so that I don't forget. And then I follow up with them and I just say, hey, do you want me to send you instructions on how to order as a customer from my website, or would you like me to do it for you? You guys, and you're probably thinking like, how many people are going to give you my, give my info and blah, blah, blah when they don't know me? You will be so dang surprised, because I can't tell you how many people would actually rather you go do it for them and they don't even have to think twice about it again. Because you will also find if you're not offering that, there's going to be so many times like you're going to be following up a lot more with people, because it's not that maybe they say to Jess, like, hey, I'm going to hop on tonight and order the cleanse and the wraps. Well, then Jess, like 3 days go by and Jess, like, her order didn't come through. Like, where's she at? It's not that that customer changed her mind or that she doesn't want the stuff anymore. It's honestly just like if I couldn't run to Sephora to go get my favorite lipstick because I ran out of it, like, it is not a do or die thing. Right? So if all of a sudden my kids get sick or we get busy, and every night I'm like, I think about it and it's 8:30 and I'm like, well, not today either. Like, you just have to know that people get busy. So don't take that stuff personally, like, at all. Follow up with them. Just say, hey, I know you probably got busy. I just wanted to make sure you didn't have any issues ordering on my site. I'm putting in some orders tonight for some other people. Did you want me to help you get your order in? Like, just don't. And I always tell people, like, you don't have to make it awkward and it doesn't feel pushy at all. And most people are going to say like, oh my gosh, thank you for messaging me. I totally forgot. And I was meaning to hop on and do this and blah, blah, blah. Like, yes, I would love for you to put it in for me. So that is loyal customers. And just remember, loyal customers are the gravy to this business. So when we talk about volume and you're looking at your map, right? Because you're like, okay, what does executive look like? And I'm going to show you guys this. So when you're looking at this map, right, and you see these two boxes, each box is a teammate, okay? So this is somebody that has joined your business that wants to make some extra money from working from wherever they please. And then you see this volume under here, right? So each person needs to be at 400. And 400, you guys, that is like a magical number that you want to remember for the rest of your It Works career, okay? So that is a qualified box, and you need people to be at 400 or higher to be a qualified box, which means that that's how you would promote, okay? So say on here that I had Jess, and she was like 800. Okay, so she's good. I'll put like a check mark. Say over here I have Alyssa, and she was at 270. I wouldn't be executive yet because she's not over 400. I'm still going to get paid on the volume, and the volume is still there, but you don't promote without those boxes being at 400. And the way that people get that volume is by loyal customers ordering, and the products that they order each has a volume assigned to it. And for whatever reason, you guys, this was such a nice tool for me when I first started, because really you're going to end up memorizing half of these and what the products are and all that kind of stuff the more that you talk about them. But I love this list, and if you put in your eSuite in documents and you just put like BV list or product list or whatever, this will pull up. And it literally, this is such a nice tool in the beginning because this tells you, okay, defining gel, if you have a defining gel in hand, so say your auto ship is wraps and defining gel, because that would be over 80 BV, right? And you want to sell both of those because somebody just wants to buy them retail from you. On this list, it tells you exactly what you should be selling it for. Okay, because you don't sell it at your discount price unless they're a loyal customer. So it tells you exactly what it is, and then over on the side, it also tells you the BV of it. So like when Miranda's going to go sign a loyal customer, Jess's next question will probably be like, hey, Miranda, what did your customer order? And just because in her mind, she's like, okay, I'm helping Miranda map for her first promotion. And you can see, like, say I signed a customer for wraps and defining gel, and this was all I needed was like another 80 BV over here, right? To all of a sudden be executive. What Jess can tell Miranda to do is say like, hey, you can move your customer and that volume will help this person be above 400 and now you're executive. So the volume, it means a lot to you because it's what we pay attention to promote. So I always say in the beginning, And really throughout, you guys, you want to be talking closely to your sponsor. When you welcome a new customer, when you welcome a new teammate, you want to let them know, because they might not be able to be in their e-suite 24/7, just like you won't either as time goes on. And you don't want to miss something. And like Jess doesn't want to miss telling you, hey, you could move this and get $100 fast start bonus on a Friday. And I don't want to miss it when Nora signs somebody and because we only get so long to move them. So I don't want to miss it and then all of a sudden be like, oh shoot, she could have already made $200 and that would have been coming to her on a Friday instead of waiting, so make sure you kind of are in just having really good communication, because not all of us, like, we aren't going to just sit and spend our time in our e-suites 24/7, nor do you really have to. Okay, so here is your next step. So you got your 4 loyal customers. Now executive is your next step. So what I want you to think, when I started, you guys, I had not a clue. I was like, I didn't even think to myself like, oh, who's going to join me? I was just like, I'm joining. I'm going to figure this thing out. And then from there, yes, I'll get going and figure out who's going to join me. But I wasn't like, that's not what my determining factor was in joining this business. So, and most of us, like, we don't have that game plan because we didn't necessarily know every ins and outs of the business when starting. So you guys, people that came to my mind that was people that I wanted to work with. So friends, family, people that I'm like, yeah, I know they could use an extra $500 just like I could. I thought of people that this would be so easy for them to share. So hairdressers, teachers. Like, teachers are always wanting something to help with their immune system, greens, energy, that type of thing all day long. Like, they're dealing with kids 24/7. And so in teachers, it's like they just have this good camaraderie, right? So they always are sharing what they love and blah, blah, blah. Nurses, like, I know that we work with a ton of other people. So you think to yourself, like, when you're thinking of your network, it is so much bigger than what you think it actually is, okay? And so that was something that I found out. And that is also why you do want to post on social media and share, because you might not have so-and-so's number, but you went to high school with them and they're going to go and see your post, and that's enough for them to reach out to you. And you have to think, like, if you didn't post on social media and they never saw it, they're never going to know that you're doing it, because they wouldn't be somebody that you would message since they're not on your phone, okay? And I had so many people that joined me that I wouldn't have even thought of, or I would have been like, wow, really? She's going to do this? She was super shy. You think these things in your head, and it's funny because I always tell people, like, never decide for somebody if this is for them. Your job is just to share the opportunity, share where you're going. And if they want to be a part of that, that is awesome. So when you're messaging people, or you go and you're starting to make your list, right? I usually made a list of 25 people alongside my map. And I'm like, this is why I want this person, or this is why I'm going to reach out to this person, or this is what I was thinking. And legit, you guys, when I messaged them to join me, these are the things I said. I told them why I joined this business and what I was super excited about, and that I told them kind of about the vision. Like, the company is debt-free. That's kind of their vision for everybody that is a part of the company, is paying off that debt so you have choices and you have the freedom to live life how you want to. I mean, life is short, right? So it's like, you want to spend it with the people that you love, and you don't want to spend it always in this stressed out state, or thinking like, there's never enough to go around. And so I would explain that to them, and I would just say what I saw in them, like why I was reaching out to them. So when you're messaging people or thinking of people, think to yourself, like, why did that person just come to my mind? What do I like about it? Is it her personality? Is she positive? Is she a hard worker? What is it? And let them know that. But you don't have to have like a script, you guys. You don't have to have any of that stuff. And then from there, if they're interested, I always just said, you know what, if somebody wouldn't have reached out to me or told me that this was a possibility, I probably would have never known to go for it. So I kind of like let them know that. And then from there, I just say, would you like some more information? There, you guys, as soon as they say yes, or yeah, I would like to hear some more information, or I'm interested in that. Then if you're like, oh my gosh, now what do I say? Then that's when you ask your sponsor. That's when you ask. Just say like, hey, what would I say to this? I'm so excited. This person's ready and they want more information. Like, you don't want to word vomit all over them. So from there, ask so we can help you go. Or maybe we can get on a 3-way call with you, or do something so that we can give them all the info they want to make their decision. And then hopefully they're joining your team. Honestly, so we want to be getting those distributors. You want to be growing your team. You do not have to know everything about everything before you can start helping somebody in this business, because you can see even on our team page, there's so many of us that we can help you, or we can hop on a thing like this where, you know what, if somebody all of a sudden has 4 people that joins them in 1 week, like we literally can hop on something like this and get everybody going. The other thing that they just announced, and I really want to push everybody to do that this month, is they have a $200 Ruby gift that they are giving out for this month. So if anybody goes Ruby in August, you get this $200 Ruby gift. And so Ruby is 5 people total on your team, and it's an extra $500 a month. And what's awesome, you guys, is that not only as you add loyal customers are you building your commission check, but as you add distributors, as soon as they do exactly what you just did by getting your first 2 and your first 4 loyal customers, you get a $100 bonus. And that's like a pat on your back saying like, hey, great job. Not only are you building your team, but you are actually teaching your team how to build a successful business. Like it works kind of like little way to pat you on your back, okay? So this is what Ruby looks like. And you guys, Ruby, like you can do Ruby. Ruby can even be done in a month, but it looks like this, okay? So you have to ask yourself, like, who would this executive be? Do you have a friend, a sister, a cousin, a coworker that they could use an extra $300? If so, like, tell them, say, hey, you should do this and let's get you to executive this month because I'm going Ruby and I would love for you to be an executive. And then you would have 2 more on your top and then that person has 2. So when you're looking at this isn't you signing 5 people. This is you have 3 people that you just had. So you have to think $100 bonus, $100 bonus, $100 bonus. You guys, that's already $300. That doesn't include your wrap cash. That doesn't include your commissions. And then this person has added 2 people to their team. Okay, so that is Ruby. And Ruby, if you can build to Ruby, that was my ultimate goal in this entire business. I was like, if I hit that in a year, I'm doing so great. And then when I hit it in 6 weeks, I'm like, okay, I have to dream a little bit bigger. But when you hit Ruby, that like you have just literally figured out how to build to every single rank from there on, because Ruby is our building block. So Emerald is the next rank, which is like $1,100 extra a month. That's just 2 rubies. So that's 2 of your friends going Ruby, just like you just did. Diamond, which you guys can get a $10,000 bonus for going diamond in 3 months. That is literally just 3 rubies. So if you can build Ruby, you know every single rank past this. And the way that I got DTs, you guys, is I posted about the opportunity. I said, who's looking to make some extra money? Who would love to go for a $10,000 bonus? And then I messaged and reached out to people that I actually wanted to work with. And I already kind of went through like how I did that. So that is how I got off and running. And I taught everybody else to do the same thing. In your post about the opportunity, don't just say like, who wants to join my team, but really say like, this is what I'm going for. This is why I joined. This is what excites me. Talk about when you get a loyal customer. Talk about if you get a Friday bonus, what that $100 is going to go to, because that is the stuff that is so relatable to somebody that they're like, man, I wish I got an extra $200 bonus on a Friday, or I had that option to get a paycheck every single week. Like that is big time change for people, and that's awesome. And the other thing, let me see what I had to put this on here. Oh, casting your vision of where you're going. And then, like I said, as you hit certain steps, like I always said, like when I welcomed a team member, so people can see like, hey, I've been kind of thinking this and she is growing her team. Like I want to join her team, you know, so make sure that you're welcoming and kind of showing a demand for your business and that it is going to grow. The other thing it shows people is that they might think like, oh, I'm not going to join her, blah, blah, blah. But they also see like, oh, you know, maybe Miranda, you reached out to somebody and they were like, no, I'm not interested. And you guys, that's the other thing, like no is not going to kill you. And I also want you to know, I hear no all the time. I have people back out and that's okay. But people will, no sometimes just means like not for right now. They're going to continue to watch you. So just know that every person that you're reaching out to, you actually have another body that's watching your journey. And eventually they're going to be like, you know what, Miranda's doing this. She's promoting. I haven't joined her team. Like maybe she really did want me to do this because it could do something for me. Like what would $300 do for me? You know, and it kind of shows people, you guys, like you're going to do this with or without them. And people really quickly learned that with myself as well. Like I was like, you know what, if I had reached out to them and maybe they didn't even respond, they saw when I was promoting and doing those things, they were like, well, clearly other people are, like, she's going to be successful whether I do this or not. So they kind of, in a way, kind of get over themselves, and they realize, like, you're not doing this just to get them to do it, or you need them to be successful, because really you don't. You will find the people that want it just like you want it and have goals just like you have goals, and they're just not willing to wish and hope that those goals happen. Like, they want to have an opportunity or an avenue to be able to actually work towards those goals and make them happen themselves, and to be able to put them on the fast track. Like, that's one of the best things about this business, is that you can do it so part-time and you can still bring in so much success with it. And it literally, with that and your full-time income, it like fast tracks your goals faster than you could ever believe. And so that was one thing that I loved, you guys. And I worked full-time all the way up to Ambassador Diamond, which is like top rank of the company. And I love looking back that I did that, because I can tell anybody, say like, hey, it doesn't matter how stinking busy you are. Like, you can hands down do this business if you have the mindset for it, and you don't want to find excuses to stop you from doing this business. Like, you will do it, and you'll do so great with it. So, and then getting plugged in. Like, even tonight, if you are scared, so a lot of us don't live by each other, and that is the reality of this business. You're going to have people from all over the world join you, and you do not have to be in their backyard or in their same neighborhood for them to join your team and then be successful with you. So for me, my sponsor lived in Minnesota. I lived in Arizona. So my first wrap party, you guys, I had to do myself, right? And I didn't die. Was I nervous? Yes, I was like so nervous. But after you've watched a few wrap parties, or after you've plugged in enough and you're like, you know what, I'm going to just go off of what I said. You have this thing to look at. Like, literally you can read through this and they can follow along with you, and they're not going to know what's right or wrong. Like, they have no idea if you accidentally forgot a product, or if you accidentally forgot something to say about the wrap. Like, they have no clue. And the thing is our corporate team, you want to make sure you're following like Pam and Mike Patillo and Mark Pentecost and the It Works Global page on Facebook, because even tonight, Aspen is going live, and she's going to show you exactly how to talk through this and do a wrap party. You guys, that is all I did. I watched those like a couple times. I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. And so much of this business you learn as you go. So just know, like, it does not affect you if you don't have somebody right in your backyard, or you don't have somebody holding your hand. I'm telling you, that means you have a completely open area to take over, because that is exactly what we did here in Arizona. Like, I didn't have anybody that Danielle could even hook me up with that she knew in this area. And we're in a big city. And, you know, I could have thought like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? All these guys have each other and I'm over here. In reality, it allowed me to build a team of 30-some thousand, you know, members. And so be excited about that. Don't let that be something that hinders you in any sort of way. So make sure you're getting plugged in. And when we talk about Ruby, there is even a video on the It Works page with Cammie and some other, who was it? Pam? I think Pam Mercado. And they even talk to you about going Ruby. So go watch that. If you want to go Ruby, make that extra $500 and get that $200 gift and get those $300 to $400 in fast start bonuses on a Friday. You can do the math. Like, add it in your head. Like, that's well over $500, right? And so you can do that in a month time span just by literally reaching out to people, talking to people, wrapping people, and doing this. So don't overcomplicate it. Don't think that you have to spend 8 hours a day doing this business, because you do not. If you are consistent, that was the one thing I committed to myself, was I'm going to do at least one thing every single day for this business. And I quickly learned within the first 2 weeks, like, I woke up wanting to do this business. I did not want to find an excuse to not work this business, knowing what it could do for myself, knowing what it could do for my friends and for those that joined me. And that consistency of posting in the beginning or in the morning, and then posting again maybe around nighttime or dinner time, and then chit-chatting with people, it all paid off. Like, it paid off to where I was double diamond in 4 months, which is an average of like $4,000 some dollars, you guys. Like, that's crazy, all while having a little one and working full time and doing all that kind of stuff. So I just want you to know how much power you have in this opportunity just by being consistent on a daily basis, giving small amounts. And it doesn't even have to be 30 minutes where you get to sit down and do something. And maybe you do get that, and that's awesome for you. For myself, I get that if I wake up earlier than my kids and I go to sleep later than my kids. That's when I get a big bulk of my work done. During the day is a lot more responsive stuff. So talking to people, responding to some messages, that type of thing. And that's kind of how I split up my day. But you guys, it doesn't have to be where it might be 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, 10 minutes there. And you know what? If you're doing that every single day, I promise you, you'll be getting these done, you'll be making money, and you will be promoting. So I always say, stay focused. Don't let somebody throw you off your game. Jess and I just talked about this the other day. People might have their opinions, and that's okay. I want you to know that their opinions are not going to work for you. They're not going to get you any closer to your goals. And so be bold. Like, be okay that you're like, I'm not settling anymore. Like, I'm going for my goals. I'm going to help other people do the exact same thing. That's fine if you're not in the same mindset as me, but there are so many other people that are ready to be in that same mindset. And so stay focused. And if you work this business like a business and you stay consistent with it, and people know that your open sign is like lit up and you're excited, I promise you this business will pay you like a business. And if you're like, hey, I just kind of joined for the $100 shopping spree, and yeah, I'd like to make a couple extra $100 here and there, just know, like, you can work this business as a hobby too, and it might bring in just, $100 to $200 extra a month, and that's great. And eventually, maybe life throws you a curveball 6 months down the road, and you're like, whoa, like, I need now all of a sudden extra $1,000 a month. And I want you to know at any time you can change your mind, and you can do that, and it can bring you $1,000 a month, because I've watched that happen too. So you get to kind of make the choice for yourself, because we're all here. We're here to help you, but we cannot set the pace for you or do the action side of things for you either. So that's where you get to come in. And by doing that, you guys, and doing it for yourselves, like, you will just remember, like, these averages that we talk about that are on this page in your little booklet right here, these monthly averages. If you haven't looked at them, you should go check them out so you know where you're headed. These are just averages. Like, there are so many people on our team that they're maybe a diamond and they're making well over the average that's there. And I always say, if you're building your own team, we always say BYOB, and it's not bring your own beverage, but if you're building your own business, I promise you, like, that average, like, there's going to be months where you're blowing the averages out of the water. So hopefully, you guys, that was helpful, because I want to help as many people on our team this month hit their first promotions, and if they can even double promote, go for that Ruby, because Ruby changed my life. So Ruby is one of my favorite things, and we know if you can go Ruby, you can go Emerald, you can go Diamond, and you can go for that $10,000 Diamond bonus. So that is our big goals. And I'm not going to take any more of your time, because Aspen is going to be getting on. She might even be on right now, doing that little live wrap party. So if you can tune in on that, and you want to know, like, what would I say? How do I go through this book? Want some lingo? Like, take some notes and go listen to her on there, because she is so awesome, you guys. And I just said the things that I have learned that I get to teach you on a daily basis was because I got to hear it over and over and over again, and I learned it. I learned it by doing it, and that is exactly what a lot of you will do. So hold on, I'm going to stop the recording on it, and then if you guys have questions.